have found the Genesis frequency. This is Dr. Stephen J. Kazmina welcoming you in to another episode of a show that focuses on your whole life prosperity and success. Whole life prosperity and success by cooperating with the universal laws that are available to each and every one of us. This is Quantum Leap Goal Achievement, radical personal transformation, whole life prosperity and success. Now, stay tuned for another exciting episode that'll move the needle in your life from where you are now to where you want to be. And good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time of day it may be, wherever you are in the world. When you hit that play button, so glad you did. This is Dr. Cause and Effect, Dr. Stephen J. Kazmina coming at you with another episode of the Genesis frequency. And I want to do a little zig where I thought I was going to zag. You know what that means? You know, you go by that inspiration and that gentle nudging that sometimes comes from, well, in my case, from listeners, from comments, from questions that I get. I hope you enjoyed that last episode talking about unconditioned energy, infinite, unlimited, unconditioned energy that we condition, right? Unconditioned energy is all there is, and that's absolute reality. And we talk about unconditioned versus conditioned and how we conditioned it to move into our field, how we condition it to move into our field of experience, all that we desire to be, do, and have. So we're going to continue with that probably the next episode or so. I am very attentive to comments that come in, comments that are made, questions that are asked, emails that come in when people are asking me if I could expand on maybe something I've already talked about or go in a different direction. And this came up, something came up about selling and motivating and inspiring a team. And since my whole area is in behavior, human behavior and human potential development, personally and professionally, you know, I haven't really talked too much to directly. I have talked indirectly, but not directly to those in the sales industry. So this is really geared today, this episode, to those in the sales arena. And I'll paraphrase the question that came in. It came in from a company that engages in direct selling. And in direct selling versus outside selling, inside sales, and all that. Direct selling is a profession where the salesperson, the company, main objective is for the salesperson to go directly to the consumer. You know, in retail, we wait for the consumer to come to us, right? Well, in direct selling, the salesperson goes directly face to face to prospective customers or clients in order to make a sale. And so this individual asked if it was possible to, hey, I motivate my crew every single day, every morning, you know, get the rah, rah, rah going. What else you got? I'm running out of ideas kind of thing. And, you know, I've always said that, you know, motivation, which is great, but this show isn't about really motivational. It can be, but I'm more inspirational, finding that inside of us, which inspires us to growth, who inspires us to be better than we were yesterday. Motivation to me is something that is almost temporary. You know, yeah, that it will feel good and we go get them, but motivation without a conscious and deliberate effort to change our paradigms and change our habitual behavior once we recognize it, is not going to last real long in my book from my perspective. And you may feel different about that, and that's fine. But one thing that I suggested to this individual, and I said I'd expand on it, and in my next podcast, is, you know, whatever we do, whatever profession we're in, especially if we're selling something to keep ourselves going every day, we still have to identify the goal. And we have to identify what we want to play. What is our objective? Yeah, our objective is to make a sale, but beyond that, why are we even there in the first place? Right? Why do you personally want to make a sale? What is it that you want? And if we're to if we think small, right? Now, this may be the very first time you're listening to this show because maybe there's something in the title around sales and you wanted to learn something more about that or whatever. This show is about personal and professional development for individuals, small business owners, and in the corporate arena as well. Corporate teams from C-suite executives all the way down to consumer-facing frontline personnel. So this show has material to help you develop personally and professionally. But it all boils back down to the starting point, and that is deciding what we want. What do you want? What do you want to experience in your life? Now, a basic elementary answer to that, why are you selling? Why do you want to make that sale is, can be uh, any number of reasons. I need to pay my bills, right? I need to put gas in the car. I need to put food in the table. Now we're getting into Maslow's hierarchy of needs, and this show isn't about that. But that's some of the basic desires that we have. But beyond I need work and I need money. Well, yes, yeah, well, most people do. But what is beyond that? So you generate enough to make a living and pay your bills and make money and put food on the table and you have those basic needs in that shelter. Why would you continue? And what is it? I mean, something has to drive you. What we're doing here is identifying the driver. You have to move into the realization, and I'm speaking in a direct sales industry, very, very difficult job. So number one, congratulate yourself that you've chosen one of the highest paid professions that you could be in. Indeed, one of the highest paid professions is in direct selling, in the direct selling industry. But to keep yourself and keep your head and your heart in the game, you have to develop that bulletproof attitude. Now, everybody can define attitude in a different way, and you'll stop 100 people on the street and you ask them to define attitude, you probably get 100 different answers. But attitude is a composite of three things: well, four things really: thoughts plus feelings plus actions, and the composite of all those equals our results. So let's back up a little bit. When we start our day, when we start anything, when we start a new year, when we start a new month, have we sat down with ourselves in a quiet space and just decided what do we really want? Let me back up even further. This show is about, and everything that we talk about in personal and professional development, you're going to hear me talk about living life from the inside out rather than from the outside in. So that's what we want to do. We want to go inside. We want to go within and identify any longing and discontent that we may have. What is it? What is my big dream goal? Sometimes, and maybe even more so in direct selling, we're so focused on the next sale because we do have to put food on the table. We do have to pay that next utility bill that's coming through, and we're living from sale to sale, right? But beyond that, you're going to do that. You're going to do that. You've done it. You know how to do it. You got to do it again. Right. The only thing in your way really is your mindset and the thoughts that you think. So decide what you want so you have another driver there. What is the big dream goal? Most people are so focused on the next sale or the paycheck or worrying about how the bill's going to get paid. They have forgotten how to use the power of their imagination to dream a big dream. So what is it for you? And I'm not talking maybe a new car. You already know how to do that. I'm not talking about something that you've done before and you just want to do it again. There's no growth there. That's not a big dream goal. I'm not talking about something that, well, you think you can do. You never did it before, but you think you can figure it out, put the puzzle pieces together, and if you follow the directions, follow the recipe, you can probably get a pretty decent result. I'm talking about just not even outside the box thinking, something so huge, just so crazy, so outrageous, but you really, really want it. That would satisfy any longing and discontent that you feel. And I invite you to examine a couple different areas of your life. We want to look at a personal and professional outrageous goal or dream or desire. What do you want for you personally? And look at the areas of relationship. Maybe it's a significant other. Okay. Maybe it's something to do with health and physical fitness. Or maybe it is to do with financially, time and money freedom. You want more of that. Now, who doesn't? You're in sales. You probably have some uh, financial goals, or maybe you haven't even thought about those financial goals. Mostly when we're in, find those in sales, they're really driven by, income, money, and that's fine. So how much is it? What is that number? I invite you to consider the most amount of money you ever made in a year. Let's look at that, for instance, and perhaps make your objective to make that amount of money in a month. You can do it. People without the knowledge that you have done that. Why not you? You're the one getting in the way. It's always you. So right away, we're identifying that you have to take personal responsibility for this. Okay. But the driver, when you knock on the next door and the next door and next door, and to do that day in and day out, time after time after time, again, when you're facing a lot of rejection, you have to be driven by, number one, the identification of what you want, knowing that you can be, do, and have whatever that is. And number two, identifying the why. Why do you want what you want? See, the why is going to be is really like installing the main driver. I want what I want because of this. It is desire. There's something inside me that is telling me, yeah, I am willing, and you have to be willing and able, I should say. I'm willing and able to do the thing that I got to do so I can have this dream. And why do I want this dream? Well, I've always been drawn to the water. I want that house, that weekend retreat, that cottage, that house on the lake, up north or down south or wherever it may be. And I'm really driven by that. I'm driven to write and have that peace and have that tranquility. Whatever it is, you have to define your why. Why do you want what you want? So, see, these are some basic elementary things, but it all has to do with what you're bringing to the day, what you're bringing to each moment of the day. If you bring to each moment of the day uh, an attitude of being really needy, it's all about you. I have to make this sale. I'm hoping that the next door I knock on is a friendly person. I hope I get treated everything is focused on the ego and everything is focused on me. Now I know salespeople are for the most part ego driven, but you have to shift that focus or you just drive yourself insane and you won't last long in the industry. There's really four powerful concepts. I'm not going to talk about them in the show, but I do sales training, professional selling. I work with a program called Path to Agreement from the Dr. Gallagher Institute, along with my over 50 years in the professional selling industry. So first of all, you want to identify what it is you want, and you want to identify your why. Why do you want what you want? And that's going to be your driver. And I want to quote the late great Zig Ziglar, who said, "We can have whatever we want in life if we help enough." And I'm paraphrasing this: help enough other people get what they want. And that's what you're doing. That's what you're doing in sales. You're really helping other people get what they want. What do they want? Well, most people, there's really only two reasons people buy anything: to gain a profit or to avoid a loss. So what are you doing? Well, it depends what the product is you're selling. So you're providing a solution.
People want to gain a profit. What is it? Maybe if you're in food sales, for instance, there's a lot of that going on door to door. If you're in food sales, how do they gain a profit? Well, delicious food is a profit. I want my family to sit down to a delicious meal. They want to avoid a loss. Yeah, look at the prices in the grocery stores these days. They're they're way up. Inflation is going crazy, right? So if you provide high value, I'm not talking cheap, but if you provide high value, well, the person is in their mind avoiding a loss. So always think of those terms. A person buys for two reasons: to gain a profit or to avoid a loss. And you have a solution that will enable them to do so. And so then it becomes about communicating that. And you know how to communicate. And we can go into depth. This isn't a whole training course on that. But I think you would drive yourself, um, you would drive yourself every day in a more efficient and effective way if you could focus in every moment on your why and on bringing excellence. I did a podcast episode on bringing excellence to every moment a couple episodes ago. You can go find it wherever podcasts are distributed or wherever you listen to your favorite podcast. And maybe you should, in between sales calls or driving to wherever you're going to work for the day, have on a podcast that's inspirational. So I talked about bringing excellence to every moment, and that's what you really want to do. You want to have an always on awareness of living in the energy of the dream, the wish, the goal, the objective fulfilled. If it's that house up north or down south or on a lake or on the beach or whatever, you're living that reality now. There's no present or past tense. That is your reality. You've already designed it using the power of your imagination. Now, I'm really running through this very briefly because this show is about personal and professional development. And most of the programs I do are drawn out over a period of time. And here I'm trying to condense some inspiration into a span of about 20 minutes. So this isn't really a training program. This is just for you to know that you can be, do, and have anything you want when you learn to do things in a certain way. And that's what this is all about. And hopefully I can continue to speak with you about that because it's not about doing certain things. It's about doing things in a certain way. Why? Because the formula is simple. Our thoughts plus our feelings plus our actions. Remember, that's part of our attitude. Our thoughts, our feelings, and actions equals results. And that's always the way it works. That's the equation in that order. Thoughts plus feelings plus actions equals results. If you knock on that next door, or whatever it is in life, you can apply this to anything you're doing in life. It doesn't have to be direct sales. Whatever your thoughts are, if it is direct sales and your thoughts are when you're approaching that door, I hope they buy something from me. I don't know how I'm going to pay that next bill. Got to make this sale. Your thoughts are all focused on the result. Your thoughts have to be focused on the desired, the outcome and your goal and the solution that you can provide. It's thoughts plus feelings plus actions equals results. When you take those thoughts, I am successful today, when you're driven by the objective, the outcome, big dream, I am so happy and grateful. You probably should have a gratitude practice in place, and everything should be in the present tense. I'm so happy and grateful that I have a successful sales day today. I'm so happy and grateful I am now selling, working my profession in an effective and efficient way, day in and day out. When those are your dominant thoughts, rather than I hope, and rather than coming from a place of fear, you're in an emotional state that's going to be supportive of the end result that you want to achieve. When you bring words like "I'm going to try," and "I hope," hope is not a bad thing, but hope says, "Well, maybe I will, maybe I won't," right? I'm so happy and grateful that I am successful today, right now. And whether you make that next sale or not, what you're doing is you're detaching from that outcome. You want high participation, low attachment to the outcome. High participation, low attachment to the outcome. So you're going to participate. You're going to, lather, rinse, repeat, so to speak, right? High participation, low attachment to the outcome. When we have attachment to the outcome and it's very, very, very high, and we don't get the outcome we want, well, that's when our mindset changes. That's when our attitude changes. That's when we move into a state of feeling sorry for ourselves. That's when we buy into false beliefs. And that's the biggest factor that is uh, contributes to defeat in a salesperson. They have such an attachment to outcome that when they don't get the outcome they want with one individual, one door knock, one presentation, they beat themselves up. I didn't make the sale. I'm no good. They start buying into a belief that is not serving them well. I'm no good. I don't know why I'm doing this. This sucks. And then the monkey chatter starts. The inner chatter starts. The inner dialogue starts. And what happens? You take that to the next presentation. And those are the dominant thoughts. For those of you listening to this for the first time, the show for the first time, we have 40 to 60,000 thoughts a day. And most of those thoughts are the same thoughts that you had yesterday. The dominant thoughts tend to externalize in our experience. So you have to guard your thoughts. Let's just start there. Know what you want. Decide what it is you want. What is the big dream? What is the biggest, highest, greatest, grandest vision that you can hold for yourself, for your life? What is that? Decide. Make sure you got it right. Decide why you want, not that it would be nice. Decide why you want what you want. Let that be your driver and bring excellence to every single moment. High participation. High participation. Let the numbers will work if you work the numbers, right? High participation, low attachment to outcome. Bring value, bring solutions to everything you do. And you can absolutely, positively have anything that you want in this life. You can be, do, and have it all. As long as it doesn't harm anyone else, it is yours. As long as you can conceive it, believe in your ability and your willingness to do what it takes to achieve it, you can have it. You can have it. And sales is one of the greatest ways you can do it. It's the highest paid profession there is. It can also be the lowest paid profession there is. You get to choose, though. Stop living from the outside in and be in control. Be a master of your thoughts, being master of what's going on inside, knowing that the formula is always thoughts plus feelings plus actions equals results. You got to wrap that dream and that goal with a present tense feeling of it being real for you right now. That will drive your actions. Your actions will equal the results that are showing up for you. Do this time and time and time again. This works for everybody. It's the same formula, whether you're in sales or not. Love to go deeper? Hey, get on my calendar, successappointment.com. Successappointment.com, not a website, it's just a calendar that opens up in your time zone. We can have a conversation about what you want, why you're stuck, and get you set up with a plan for moving forward in a positive direction. Successappointment.com. You can go to the website if you're a company, want more information on workshops or training, successocean.com. Hey, if you're an individual that, hey, maybe you don't want to sell anymore. Maybe you want to do some attraction marketing and have people come to you. Maybe you love this world of personal and professional development or the working anywhere in the world with a laptop and phone lifestyle. Well, you can do that. Go to successocean.biz. I recently posted a new video in there that tells you a little bit about the wonderful world of being an entrepreneur, successocean.biz. That's it. I went a little bit over for today. Hope this resonates with you. Hope this answers the question for some of you that have been sending them in the direct sales industry. Again, it's just a starting point. Just know that you're a professional, that selling is about having your ideas accepted. that you have to manage really you, living from the inside out and the way that you communicate. And then you have to dive into a little bit of the psychology of behavior. How does the mind work? How do we behave, ourselves and our prospects? So we can go deeper into this, and I love doing it. I do go deeper into that. I have programs that take us deeper into that. So reach out. I'd love to talk to you. SuccessAppointment.com. You've been listening to the Genesis Frequency. Find all these episodes on thegenesisfrequency.com or wherever you listen to podcasts. For now, we're going to have to wrap it up. Went way over. Apologize for that. This is Dr. Cause and Effect, Dr. Stephen J. Kosmina. You've been listening to the Genesis Frequency, and I wish for you an infinitely spectacular day. God bless you.